Welcome to China Horse Business, the one and only podcast focusing on the booming Chinese equine market, bringing to you by two experts of Chinese equine industry, Zheng and Wang from Shanghai and Beijing, introducing China to the world.
Good morning, Wang. How's it going?
Good morning. Beijing Marathon was organized as scheduled, and suppose this is some silver lining in sports industry here.
Yes, we could really use some help from time to time. Well, let's tell our listeners what do we have for today's China news.
From November 3 to 5, the 4th China Youth Horse Sherwood Grand Prix was successfully held in Beijing. The competition was co-organized by China Horse Industry Association, Beijing Turf and Equestrian Association, and Daqian World Horse Owners, and is open to only to 4-year-old to 7-year-old horses.
Yes, in the congratulatory letter from Mr. John Patterson, chairman of World Breeding Federation for Sport Horses, he emphasizes the importance of the contest as the first Asian show jumping competition committed to 4-year-old to 7-year-old horses and the effort made in constructing regulations for young horses.
In addition, China Youth Horse Competition is heralded by Mr. Yu Qian, a famous comedian, a household name in China. He used his considerable influence to bring more media attention and investors into the horse industry.
Yes, and the total value of Chinese horse market is over 10 billion RMB, and more than 3,000 horses were imported into China in 2020. Such a contest is vital to the growth of them and paves the way to be a better athlete. In our China Club session, we'll bring you to Heima Horse Industry, which is founded in 2020 in Maoming City, Guangdong Province. This new club has more than 100 arts in total.
Heima literally means dark horse, and the club has 1,800 square meters indoor equestrian teaching view, 6,000 square meters of equestrian show jumping stand view, and a luxury stable for wedding photography. Heima Club now owns 23 horses, including English thoroughbreds, Arabian horses, Akutaki horses, Andalusian horse, Frisian horses, Dutch warmbloods, Shetland ponies, etc.
The club is a member of Chinese Equestrian Association and a recognized training center by Beijing Turf and Equestrian Association. It adopts French gallop teaching system and aspires to be the leading riding club in the region.
For our China story today, I interviewed one of the finest horse photographers in China, Mr. Wang Zheng, more commonly known as Tianxia. We will now read out his thoughts to our questions. And the first question is, how did you enter the horse industry and why you're interested in equestrian and horse racing photography?
He replies, the first time I came into contact with horses was when I was young, during the late 80s and early 90s, during my study abroad in Japan. I went to the racetrack several times in Japan and watched the flag racing on the spot, purchasing horse racing newspaper before races, buying horse racing tickets, and watching on the screen through TV, radio, or on the scene. The scene really felt the almost crazy obsession and love of Japan's horse racing. To this day, the scene at the time was particularly remembered, and it was still so vivid.
Mr. Wang continues, the first shooting horse was about 10 years ago in December. A photography club organized a horse photo shooting at Beijing Equestrian International Riding Club. I never shot horses before, let alone the sport of equestrianism. At Equestrian Club, I saw a lot of horses. At that time, I did not know that there were many types, such as show jumping, flat horses, dressage horses, and other various types of horses. I did not know that equestrian events in the world had so many equestrian events, big guys in the circle, and many legendary horses. I was a little excited and nervous when contacting with the horse for the first time. When I wanted to shoot at a close range, one rider told me not to approach, so as not to cause horses to be nervous. But at this time, through the view of you and the horses, I seem to understand the words of horses. Come on, I'm not afraid. That don't hurt you.
Mr. Wang also says that I love pets. I have raised 2 dogs and a cat, all raised from a young age. One dog lived to 40 years old, a cat to 22 years. Only through the communication of the eyes, I can understand what they think without errors. Therefore, I entered the horse industry without hesitation at that time, and actually touched the horse head from the front. The rider was very surprised and told me that do not touch strange horses in the future. It was horses who told me that I could approach and touch him. In my eyes, horses are big pets who like people's activities. Through this shooting, I fell in love with this magnificent animal.
The second question is, of all contests like Longjing Grand Prix and Dubai World Cup you shoot, which one impressed you the most and why?
For a decade, I recorded and witnessed many events, such as the 4 Longjing Hong Kong Masters and 4 Shanghai Global Champions too. Compared to shooting show jumping, I prefer to shooting dressage and horse racing, because I feel that it's easier to shoot show jumping. As long as the angle is made, the background is static, and the moment to take the shot. Moreover, no surprise, the first 3 ranking can be predicted.
My favorite shooting is flat racing for its uncertainty, especially when a dark horse appears, which makes the results unpredictable. I have shot more than 10 G1 races in recent years, including 4 Dubai World Cup, 2 Japanese Yasuda Kinen, 4 Japan Cup, and 2 Hong Kong Cup.
The third question is, which rider or jockey is your favorite in your decade-long career?
For show jumping, it is Zheng WANG. He is about 70 years old when I watched him in 2017 Longjing Hong Kong Masters, absolute legend. While my favorite jockey is Yasuda Taki, as he has won more than 4,000 races, a tough record to beat. His ride on Kitazen Plaque in 2016 Japan Cup is a win I will never forget. And this is the 17th episode of Season 3. Please leave a comment wherever you listen to this podcast, as your feedback is how we can make it better. The next monthly Channel Horse Business Live is coming in no time.
Yes, the next webinar will take place on the 5th of December from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. CST Winter Time. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is co-hosted by Zoe King and Wen Li, powered by Wonder Horse, a business solution provider focusing on Chinese equine market and a bespoke equestrian community in China.